Yeah, another thing I think about too, and there was a question there about, like how do you become muscular, with powerlifting versus bodybuilding stuff. And, one thing I like to think about is, we use the word intensity specifically to talk about like a percent of max, but I think anybody who's lifted weights, you can sort of think, okay, intensity is when, lactic acid is building up, or you're getting out of breath, or it's the weights, just feeling like it's on your traps and crushing you. So fatigue is a big part of intensity to me. I mean, any bodybuilder thinks about how intensely do you train. And I've always been inspired by like the Dorian Yates videos. Mm-hmm. And I think about both kind of the heavy compound lifting as, like his style, where it's like, I'm going to do one set of, 6 or 8 reps, and it's going to be to the point of like really taxing myself. So I like that because I think that means that I'm using powerlifting lifts in a bodybuilding style, the way that one of the most, effective bodybuilders did his training. So I like that. I think that's a really good way to build a lot of strength in weak areas, because a lot of these lifts are ones where I'm trying to use harder leverages, like a safety squat bar or a front squat or a stiff leg deadlift. You're not holding your back tight. You're having to stabilize in an awkward position. You're getting pulled out of position. The other thing that I think is relevant for both the heavier lifting and then especially for the accessory lifting, like if you're doing, high reps on rows or something, is that as the discomfort and it builds up, the perceived intensity builds up, what do you do at that point? Because anybody could tell you going into the set, okay, when it gets hard, keep using the same cues, the same tempo. But once your like emotional reaction to, oh, this is fucking hard, kicks in, which is also what makes the sport so challenging, because not everyone has the toughness to be this way. Mm-hmm. But a little discipline goes a long way. When the weights start feeling heavier, the muscles are screaming, you're getting out of breath, do you concentrate and make the quality just as good, or do you rush to try to get it over with? Is like getting the sets of 12 over, getting 12 reps is like an arbitrary goal. So it's like, do you get 8 good reps and 4 bad ones, or do you get those last 4 to be, once you're out of your comfort zone, to kind of use the cliche, is what you do when you're out of your comfort zone building higher quality, or is it like it's just getting it over with?
Yeah, I think that.
And really, like, if we say nothing really changes until we kind of stress ourselves to get out of the comfort zone, well, that's where it's like, once you're out of your comfort zone, what do? Do you focus? Do you push yourself? Or do you, you kind of like let the emotion like take over and discipline is gone?
I think the key to being, I loosely use the term successful powerlifter, but the key to being the best powerlifter somebody can be, for themselves, is the ability to be able to think while they strain.
Sure.
Because a lot of people just get in that rage, then they get stuck, say halfway in a pull, and all they need to do is fucking push their hips forward.
Yeah,
but they're
focus
stuck
on the wrong thing, basically.
And they just arch, and they, at that point, they're not going to hear any verbal cues. Yeah. They need to know, oh, I'm stuck, hips, and then go. The only way you know that is to kind of live there long enough to have it click, where it's like, because once you do it once, you're like, oh shit, why haven't I been doing that? Then it's a whole nother world.
Like a lot of people, if you have them do like, let's say a set of 5 on the bench or a set of 5 on squats, where do you think you're going to get tired? Well, after rep 4, obviously. And so that's, where something with training, I can tell, people I'm training, like, okay, you're always going to get tired after rep 4. So when you're squatting, make sure you take an extra breath and brace, and then still attack the rep. Or when you bench, do you rush and like drop it on your chest too quickly, or do you actually get tight and kind of control it and just set yourself up and have the the trust that by putting the bar in the right spot and staying tight, you're going to be able to push it back up, versus, oh shit, it's getting hard, I better speed up. And then you move fast, but then the moment you try to push up, you're hitting a hard sticking point.